everyone, and welcome to 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Daddy, Daughter, Disney Travel Podcast. We're your hosts.
I am Mike Belobradic.
And I'm Amelia Belobradic. And today, we're going to be figuring out the best way to go on your Disney vacation.
And by that, we mean we've narrowed it down to sort of 3 ways you can do a Disney vacation. Number 1, the solo Disney vacation. Number 2, the family Disney vacation. And number 3, the group Disney vacation or family and friends. So which one of those is the best way, and what are the pros and cons of each one? Do you have a thought before we dive into them?
I have a favorite way, personally, that I know that I like to go, but I want to see what you think before I share my opinions.
All right, let's start with the solo Disney vacation. Now, in fairness, you have not done a solo Disney vacation, but I have done...
Since I'm only 12, I think that's
She'll
quite
13,
good parenting that you have.
13 in a few weeks. So, yes, we would not send her by herself. Would you? Well, let me ask you this. Okay, you're about to turn 13 in a few weeks. Would you want to go on a solo Disney? Forget all the stuff about your age, but does the idea of going alone to Disneyland or Disney World appeal to you?
No.
Why not?
Because that would be boring. And what would you do? Just be alone. I mean, now I would just pay a lot to wait in line by myself, but normally, no, I would not want to do that.
All right, so let's talk. So I have done, as you know, solo Disney vacations to both Disney World and Disneyland, and that's going to play into my thoughts on this.
Yeah, you're going to get some real flack for that.
I'll fill you in. But I have to say, from my blogging days, this is a common question. People always want to know, is it worth going by yourself? What's it like going by yourself? So here's my view on the solo Disney vacation. First of all, if you happen to be in Orlando or LA or something and you're near it on a business trip, then go, right? I mean, if you're just by yourself, that's what I did to Disneyland once. I had a business trip it was in San Diego, but I made the trip up on the Pacific Surfliner. And
How is that right there?
Well, it's within an hour. So if I'm within an hour of a Disney park... So I did go for a few days, and it was a solo Disney vacation. And then in Disney World, same thing. I've gone a couple of times by myself for some openings and things like that. So here's my view on it. When you go on a solo Disney vacation, you get to do whatever you want. You don't have to make compromises with anyone. You don't have to argue over restaurants or attractions or parks.
Well, you get to do whatever you want anyways.
No, sometimes I'll be walking around the parks with our family and I'll want to stop, but I feel like, I can't stop here and take a bunch of photos or something because it's slowing you guys down or you want to get somewhere, things like that.
Sorry, correction, I get to do whatever I want on a family Disney vacation.
So
I don't know about you.
So the pros of it are you are your own schedule. You don't have to cater to anybody else's needs. You can do whatever you want, and that can be good.
And you don't have to sign schedules down to the minute your daughter made because she was...
Yeah, you're beholden to no one.
Although I will say that the perk of having someone else go on a solo Disney vacation that you don't get to go on is you get to bombard them for gifts.
Yes, I do have to bring things home when I do a solo Disney vacation or a solo any kind of business trip, really.
But Disney's better because then you get Disney stuff.
But I will say I did find cons. So I did find there were certain times that I missed. You go, this is so cool, but there's no one there to share it with, right? Because you're alone. So I sort of missed that a few times when things happen and, you're by yourself and it's still neat, but there's no one there to enjoy it with you.
Guess that's what happens when you're in solitude.
And the second one is some people may not care about this, but I do. I don't like eating alone in table service restaurants. Some people are... really brave and they don't care.
Why would you want to eat alone?
I'm just not one of those people who could sit alone at like a table service Disney restaurant or really any restaurant and eat by myself.
Because they probably wouldn't let you just play, Disney Plus on your phone.
So
when you're at table service.
So that's something. So when I go on these things, I'll do quick service or get stuffed for my room. And so I miss out on table service restaurants, but I know a lot of people don't care. But for me, or if you're someone like that, that is a sort of a con because you miss out on that aspect of it. And you certainly wouldn't want to necessarily, you couldn't have as much fun at the Hoop-de-Doo review or something like that by yourself, I wouldn't think.
No.
So all in all, I would say if you get a chance like I do because you happen to be near one of those parks, I would do it just because it's a chance. But would I plan? Yeah. I don't think so.
No. The answer is no, you would not plan one.
And I will add one more bit.
You would always take me.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. But I will add one more insight here. Because I've done both Disneyland and Walt Disney World solo Disney vacations, Disneyland
is better.
It is better for a solo Disney vacation because it's smaller.
That's so too. I wonder why.
Yeah, because it's smaller and everything's in closer proximity. So we normally stay at the Grand Californian, but for my solo, I stayed at Disneyland Hotel. So still Disney on site in walking distance to everything.
What a step down that was.
Yeah, it's not. It is a step down, but not a leap. But because Disneyland is so small, it was much easier to, sort of go back to your hotel and take a break if you want to be not want to be alone. You are alone. You don't have a choice. And I'm not one to make a bunch of friends with strangers and eat in restaurants with them. So, but I did find Disneyland all in all, even though I know Walt Disney World far better. I've been going, I've been there over 50 years and over 100 times.
Stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet.
Yes. Writing on a postcard. But anyway, so I would say Disneyland was better for me for solo Disney vacation than Walt Disney World because it's more compact, it's easier to get around. When you're by yourself, it just feels more cozy. So the solo Disney vacation, there you have it, my thoughts and insights. And I don't think I would book one and go again, but if I am nearby somewhere, I would probably extend it and do that again. You don't feel as guilty leaving your family when you do it that way.
Yes,
I'm getting the evil eye from Amelia.
Don't worry,
on the
I
other
will
side
make
of the
you feel
booth.
guilty.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the most common vacation of all, the family Disney vacation, or couple or group of two friends, the sort of traditional group you have going on a vacation. This is the most common one, of course. Pros and cons of the family Disney vacation. What would you say?
What cons are there?
Well, on a family Disney vacation, there can be disputes over who wants to do what.
Well, I always win, so I don't see any problems.
I don't think so. We may have you think you won.
Or am I making you think that you made me think I won, but really I was winning all along?
No, we're the crafty adults.
Okay.
So
sure.
There are dynamics, and a lot of the traditional Disney vacation planning stuff you read or research or do is for the family. And it's important to know what everybody wants. You may not always agree. Sometimes part of our family will stay back in the room.
Just watch out if sometimes your kid puts over extravagant plans on a schedule, which you obviously would say no to, and then ends up getting what they really wanted anyways because you thought that they wanted that over extravagant thing, which they really didn't care about at all.
So you're saying shoot for the stars and get the moon?
Shoot for the moon and land among the stars, but yeah, sure. Sure.
Well, or in other words, ask for more than you really want to get what you really want.
Well, it's been working for me for 12 years, so.
Well, it's a standard business tactic in negotiations. Don't ask for what you want, ask for more so they can reject something and give you what you want. And you're saying you apply that to our Disney vacation plan?
Yes.
I'll be paying extra attention for the next one.
Will you?
Yes, I will. So the family Disney vacation has the family dynamic. Hopefully you know your family well. There are more prone to be fights amongst family members if you're one of that kind of family in the parks because it's a family Disney vacation. But all in all, you are, of course, building memories together, which is what it's all about. What do you like most about family Disney vacations?
I don't know.
You don't know?
What do you mean?
So you don't enjoy them? Or what do you dislike? Is there anything you dislike about family Disney vacations?
No.
Okay.
I can't think of anything I dislike because I just want to go back. And in my mind, it's just blocked out all of the evil.
And we, as a family, aren't always we're not like everybody.
Ooh, I have something.
Okay, go ahead.
You're a control freak.
Okay, let me finish my thought then. I was going to say, we're not always on the same page. It's more often that you and I go and do something and Mommy will stay in the room, but everybody's okay with that as long as we bring her back a Joffrey's or Starbucks. She's happy. Now, I'm a what now?
You're a control freak. And see, that doesn't work for me because I'm a control freak. And when I want to do something that you don't, it doesn't really end well for you.
I would just say I have well-laid plans. I would not say I'm a control freak by any means at all.
Okay.
So the family Disney vacation is the most common. The tips here are, of course, make sure you know what all your family member types and do our Disney Travel DNA episode 30 or whatever it was. And be sure you know what everybody wants and likes and does. And it's okay. You know what? It's okay if you have family squabbles on the trip, especially in the Florida heat, as we've talked about recently. But that's a common way to go. Now, do you have anything else to say on the family before I move on?
That.
Well, you looked like you were about to speak. Okay, the next one, category 3.
The group Disney vacation.
The group or family and friends or more than just, or like if you're a couple, 2 couples, whatever it is, whatever works for how you travel.
My favorite way to travel isn't any of these.
Okay, well, hang on. We'll get back to that. So you have a mystery 4th category.
I do.
So the 3rd category we have done a few times because we have a large extended family now. All as kids, as you know, if you listen to my past, our families started going when Disney World opened and Disneyland before that. So I have 3 sisters. 2 of those sisters regularly travel still, as I do, with their families and sons and daughters and grandchildren. So we can have quite large groups. And for my 100th a couple of years ago, 2019, we had 18 people there over 3 hotel rooms. So that's what I mean. This was a group Disney vacation of sorts.
That's not a group Disney vacation.
What is that?
A group Disney vacation is one of those things where those people that they go to the parks every day and they have those shirts that say mom, dad, kid, child, aunt, uncle, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that
whatever.
could be. They both are. Now, we're not that type of Disney traveler. We're not those people.
You're not those people.
No. Well, who is? Nobody in our family.
Oh, I guess I'm not in the family then. Apparently, I'm just rejected.
Well, we never, other than the Halloween party shirts or the odd time when we're thanking cast members or something, we don't make those shirts. And certainly as extended groups of 3 families, we don't do that.
Yeah, and I think that what you've described is the mystery 4th category.
Okay, well, let me finish my version of this. So the group Disney vacation, it does have a lot of pros and some, I would say, cons or just things you watch out for. First of all, let's talk about our most recent one when we had those 3 hotel rooms. By complete fluke, one group was right across the hall from us. We did not even plan for this, but our rooms, we were in the villas, Grand Floridian villas. We had a studio because there's 3 of us, but directly across the hall in a 1-bedroom was my sister and her family. And that was pretty good because it made it really easy to go back and forth. And then the 3rd group was at a different hotel, but they tended to spend a lot of time with us at the Grand Floridian.
Of course, who wouldn't?
So that group vacation is fun because what tends to happen, or I think is the best way to do it, is you don't plan every little thing as a group. It's impossible. It's just not going to work. I mean, if you show me a group of 18 people who all want to do the exact same thing, I'd be surprised and impressed. But we did not, right? We did our things as little, and even subgroups of families. A lot of them will golf. Some will just sit by the pool. We like to go to parks. But every now and then, we all emerge together.
Does our group like to go to parks, really?
We do, as part of that larger group. And so do some of our nieces and my nieces and nephews, your cousins. They like to go to parks.
Yeah.
And we did lots of group things, though. We had some group dinners in the rooms because if you've never stayed in a villa, stay in a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom villa or something where you have a big kitchen stove. We used the grills. We had steak and lobster. It was a big party.
I think that was my favorite Disney vacation ever.
And we did the Grand One Yacht, 18 people. And even, wait a minute, extended friends. We had another family of 2 there. Yeah. So we had 4. So
everyone was there.
And they were also the Grand Floridian, but not right across the hall from us. So there were 3. I forgot about our fine feathered friends there. So
also on the boat, there were more. There were extra people.
Yeah, there was 18 in total on the boat. So that was quite a group. That was 4 different families. And throughout that week, we crisscrossed in doing things together. So I have to say, I really like that sort of group vibe because it's really fun to do different things with different people at different times in the week. And we did some things with the group of 2 who are our friends.
Yeah.
We had a fun Disney Springs. It was St. Patrick's Day. And then we had the whole group. We had part of the groups. It was just a whole mix of things. Sometimes some people would be at the pool. So
And on the boat, we even had people who lived in Florida come too.
Oh my goodness! Well, thank you. So there was actually
don't worry,
5
I have an excellent memory.
So there were 5 groups. Yes, we have friends in Florida, cast members and non-cast members alike.
Guess you could call this the groups. Disney
So
vacation.
that truly was right. That this is that category, the group. So the thing about the group is in order to have a lot of fun, we did have to plan for some of this stuff ahead of time. Any of the things you want to book, like the Grand One Yacht, or we didn't.
No, we'll just roll up an hour before. Say, hey, do you mind if we take this out on the water?
Yeah.
Do you mind? Is it available?
No, there is pre-planning involved. So I did make sure everybody could come on that and things like that. But some of the dinners we just made up, or Disney Springs. You go with the flow in a group like that, and things come together nicely. So I actually really encourage, and it's just like we're hoping one day we can go with one of your friends' families and to be there at the same time together. I think those are fun. The point is, when you think of these big group things or extended families, you don't have to spend every minute of every day together.
I think what you've just described is the perfect separate 4th category, which I think is my favorite way to travel, the apart yet together.
Okay, explain that to me.
I think when you do a group vacation, if you see those people, there are sometimes groups of like 10 or 20 people in the same shirt, and they walk around the park and they do every ride together and they wait in line together. And I don't know how they manage to do that, because can someone please explain to me?
Well, that's what I mean. We are not those people. I
don't want to be those people.
Well, and I think to do that, you have to be those people. And sorry if any of you, those people, are listening. I mean, no, it's all kidding aside. It's if you're a tight-knit group like that and you do everything together and
you're those people, be great. Be those people.
Yeah, you're sort of like a baseball team or something, right? That spends all their time together. We're not. We're a bit more separate but together. I guess I would explain it that way.
Apart but together.
Yeah, apart but together. We like to do things together, but we do have our separate times as well. And for all I know, those large groups who have 20 shirts together, maybe 10 of them want to get home and go, oh, thank goodness I can take this thing off. We don't know.
Or maybe they live in different parts of the world and they're coming together. We live fairly close. We all live in Canada together, so we do see each other maybe more often than they do, which is why
I have run into some of those people. I ran into some not friends, but met people there who were British.
So you do meet strangers.
Well, I'm not antisocial, although you may think I am at times. But yeah, they were from the UK, and some family was, and they get together and meet at Disney World, which is totally cool. And so I'm sure it's someone always in the group saying, come on, let's do the shirt thing. And they're going, oh, fine, I'll do the shirt thing. It's easier to do it than to not do it, right?
Just wait till I can buy shirts. Everyone will have one.
I'm guessing that's what happens. Unless it's the Halloween party or I'm, wearing it for some specific reason. I don't usually.
Then you're the
I'm
playmaker.
not a shirt guy, right? However, we do sell shirts on our Redbubble sites. Just kidding.
However, if you do want to buy some of those for your family, be sure to head over. If you do want to be
a shirt family, we've got shirts for you.
Check them out.
So there are pros and cons. I would say if you're doing the extended, try to book a few things. So if you're going for a week, typical week's vacation, book 3 or 4 things that the whole group, or even 2 things that the whole group can do together. And then the rest, you're sort of easygoing. Like, for example, at the very end of that massive group we just talked about, we did extra magic hours, right?
At the very end, that was smack in the middle of the week.
Oh, right. Sorry. It was the end for one family and they didn't make it, our friends. Even though they wanted to, they had an early flight. They just pooped themselves out in the day.
So Weird way to describe that.
Tired themselves out. How about that? So they didn't make it, but we did. And that was one of the most fun nights we had the whole thing. Other than the yacht.
That was the best day of my life. The day before that, and then technically it rolled over into the next day. Yeah. But I'm from 3 a.m. that morning, for those next 24 hours, that was the best 24 hours of my life.
So really, no surprise. They're all great ways, right? It's if you can go.
What's your favorite?
I would have to say my favorite is the third one.
Yeah.
The large group of different people. And I don't know if it's because we go so much together that we all, put it this way. I have fun. Solo, family, extended group.
You're not going to be bored going to Disney.
Yeah. And if you are, then obviously you're not a Disney person. And that's fine too. But
for me, I'm sure you're shocked to learn that I enjoy going as a group vacation.
Yeah, it's super fun to have all those options. And typically on these group vacations, unless it's one of those baseball team families, we don't always hang out that way with these people. So it brings another element.
Yeah, it brings a new kind of perspective to the family.
If you go a lot to Disney, it sort of changes it up.
It's new because there's always something new at Disney. They never just keep it the same with all the new Imagineering. But even if you're not necessarily doing a new experience, you can have a new experience.
Or you can share, like you like to, some of your favorite experiences.
I'm getting poetic now.
Yeah, you share some of your favorite things with people who haven't done them before. So
I loved. Yeah. I know they canceled Extra Magic Hours, and I would desperately like them to please bring it back, Disney.
And I would say, well, they have the early morning ones now, but I would say if you have one of those group situations of any kind and you want to be close to each other, definitely check out the villas. We've done episodes on the villas. A lot of Disney travelers don't know about them if they're not Disney Vacation Club members. And
you can get connecting rooms too. We didn't have one, but if you do want to make sure that you're next to a family, you can get a connecting room.
In the villas, you mean?
Yeah, in the villas. So you're separate, but apart but together. It works on so many levels.
The thing about the villas is, the main reason I say that is the
kitchen.
Yeah, kitchenette, and laundry and all that stuff. So if you have a bigger group, it really, first of all, there's a lot more space. They're like condos.
Think of it that way. You want to wash those T-shirts.
Yeah, but you have a lot more space to hang out as a group. Or we used to have warm-up parties and then go out and stuff like that. So definitely look into villas if you're planning. A lot of people do it as a special like anniversary present for their parents or something.
Yeah.
So definitely check those out. But really, they're all fun. Solo's good as long as you're comfortable. I'm okay solo. I just have that personal thing about not eating alone in sit-down restaurants. I don't mind going. So I'll go to quick service or I'll, whatever, have food sent in.
You don't want to be lonely.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not shy, but I hate sitting alone at a table. I just not that antisocial type of thing. Not antisocial, but I enjoy being social at dinner, put it that way. So sitting by myself, and I don't want to sit there and read a book at a table. It's just not me, but I know it is for people. And I don't think it's weird when I see people doing it. I just can't do it myself. So I don't book. But, in the end of the day, it saves me money, I guess, on table service dining when I'm alone.
Wonder if anyone goes to Victoria and Albert alone.
But I will have to say that, I bet you they do, but I will have to say that I do spend a lot more time shopping for souvenirs when I'm alone than I do when I'm with my family.
It's because
So you're right. I think I do have sort of a not a guilt complex, but it makes me feel like you guys are there.
You might receive some text asking for specific items from back home.
Sometimes I even text you pictures. Do you like this or do you want that or something like that? So really, there is no bad vacation. They're all good. So solo, family, or group.
Yeah. If you like going to Disney, and if you have an opportunity to do a solo vacation, I wouldn't say no to it. I'm just saying when booking, because I know for me personally, the Extra Magic Hours like that, my cousins, that whole trip was the best trip and week of my entire life, and that day with Extra Magic Hours with my cousins. I love that. That was...
And during those is the time when single rider truly is single rider. Like you don't worry about, when those lines are open, you don't worry about if you're all going to be in the same car or not. So
that day was just so fantastic. I also got to stay up till 1:04 a.m. taking pictures in the parks, but
And now my mystery fourth category is different than yours. It is the 4D category.
Oh.
And 4D is Daddy-Daughter Disney Day. So there was a time only once, Amelia and I went alone. So it's a partial family.
And when are we booking that?
And that was because I had holidays to use once year, and Erin was still in 1 year, and Erin was still working, and she couldn't get the time off, and it was just before Christmas. So Amelia and I went.
And no one misses anything in kindergarten.
As a partial. Yeah, you were young. But
I was already ahead of the curve.
What did you think of the partial family?
Family, I thought it was very cool. I'm not sure if I like it better than the regular family vacation, but because I've only done it once, I thought it was different, but a good different.
That was more what I was going to get at.
It was a good different because, especially going with you, we could just, because we like doing more of the same activities, we could do more, stay later, or get up earlier to go to things without having to come back because someone wants to go to the pool.
Yeah, I think we did cram the parks more. So let me ask you this. Let's say it had been not 4D, but the Mummy Daughter. How would your vacation have been different? Less rides, or you would have been sort of
single rider all the time.
I was going to say, for you, that probably would have been a blend of a solo Disney vacation.
I'm not sure how well the parks would have been.
But you might have done more shopping.
Yeah, but then I'd waste more money.
Yeah, that's true. So you can do the partial as long as everyone's cool with it, and it's a different vacation as well. Like I said, we've only done it once, but we have done it.
It's different. I think it's fun to try. Just I don't want to do solo. I just don't want to do a solo vacation. I think you wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, I've planned and done the solo, and then I've done the solo because I was near the park, and I would agree. I wouldn't plan and do a solo again.
Why you planned? When was this?
When I was doing travel agent, and I was there for some training and for the opening of New Fantasyland. Well, what was called New Fantasyland at the time.
Oh, I got a T-shirt from that.
Yeah, I brought
I got
all
a
sorts.
T-shirt from that. Still fits me.
Yeah, there was lots of stuff that was only on that day. That was quite a fun event, but it was a big opening I went for. But then the other times, it's just that I was nearby, like Disneyland, and so I spent a few nights there and had a mini Disney vacation. All right, of these, what is your favorite was?
Really? We still don't know the group.
What's your least favorite of these? The solo.
Yeah. Remember the thing I said about not saying my opinions? Yeah, that's just gone. Out the
All
window.
right. So, are we wrapped up on this one? So, the bottom line for this is, what's the best way? There really is no best way, but we just wanted to share with you, having done all the ways, they're all good.
I think whatever way you'd have the most fun is probably the best way for you.
Yeah, if you've been wondering about a solo and you're at all wondering and you want to do it, I would say do it, right? Just try it. There's nothing bad about it. And if you're more outgoing in terms of eating alone than me, then you'll probably have a good time. For me, it was just missing interaction with family or friends.
You could also which is, again, a fifth category where you could go and stay in a hotel room alone, and maybe at a different hotel, there are also some friends that you meet up for them with dinner once or twice, but you don't spend every minute of every day with them.
So they're all good. If you've gone as a family, I would definitely say try the group thing. It's lots of fun. You get a different dynamic and you get to do some different things you might not have done before. We had a lot of fun.
Really cool, ways. And you can spend more. Well, obviously, you don't have a Disney park. I mean, unless you live in Orlando, you can do different things with them that you likely haven't done before.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So we hope you enjoyed this episode about all the many different ways you can have a Disney vacation at any Disney park in the world.
And let us know which one is your favorite.
Yeah, let us know this week as we tweet out at 1923 Main Street and Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook and everywhere else.
We are everywhere.
We are everywhere. So check it out. Follow along with us. Give us your show ideas. We always love hearing from you about those. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you again next week and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.